Hello everyone and welcome to another video review from 3dgameman.com. I'm Rodney Reynolds and today I'm having a look at the Be Quiet Silent Bass 600 case. Now this comes in three different color options. You can get it with or without a window. It comes with acoustic dampening material and there's plenty of room on the inside to install hardware. It comes in this rather plain looking box, but it is informative. It's packaged really well between two pieces of styrofoam and the case itself is in this cloth bag. They include a user's manual, screws for installing the hardware, plastic cable ties, and rubber rails for installing the drives. I think you'll agree that this is a pretty shapely case and the build quality is quite good. It measures in at 495 by 230 by 493 millimeters. So it's really not an oversized mid-tower case, but it does have ample space inside to install lots of hardware. Now this is called Silent Bass for a reason. They do include acoustic dampening material, but the windowed version does not have any on the left side panel. Of course, the non-windowed version would, but it still has acoustic dampening material on the right side panel and at the front. At the top of the case, they have ventilation holes. Now, while they do not include any fans up here, you can install up to two 120 or up to two 140 millimeter fans. Up here as well is the power button with an integrated LED and the hard drive activity LED. Here are the four USB ports. Two of them are USB 2 and the other two are USB 3 and the audio jacks. Oh, and by the way, at the top, optionally, you could install a 240 millimeter or 280 millimeter radiator. Now have a look at the front of this case. Quite nice. Mesh on either side, which will also provide lots of ventilation, and their logo at the bottom. They include a door. This is held into place with magnets. They have acoustic dampening material on it. And you can control the speed of the fans. Plus, they include three 5¼ drive bays. And here is a removable dust filter. And to remove it, just pull upwards. Now the front panel does come off, but it requires releasing 6 tabs, 3 on each side, and you need to do it from the inside of the case. So don't try and pull the front panel off from the front without releasing these tabs, because you could damage the front panel. And oh, they do include a 140 millimeter intake fan. Now in many cases, the right side panel is plain, but not here. This is a nice look, but this piece can be removed to give you extra ventilation. And this is a plastic piece that has acoustic dampening material on it. It just literally pops off and pops back on. They do include a removable dust filter, and you can install a 120 millimeter fan here. At the back of the case, and actually this is on the top panel, they have ventilation. They include a 120 millimeter exhaust fan. And by the way, this is a Pure Wings 2 fan, like the fan that's on the front of the case. Below it are 3 rubber grommeted holes to route water cooling tubes through. Here is where you would install the motherboard's I/O shield plate. As well, 7 ventilated expansion slots, extra ventilation, and at the bottom is where you would install a standard ATX power supply. And by the way, they do have rubber right here, and there are rubber rests for the power supply to lodge on, and at the bottom, they include a removable dust filter. Plus, there are 4 thumb screws, 2 on each side panel. This case fits mini ITX, micro ATX, and standard ATX form factor motherboards. And as you can see, it does have a large hole on the motherboard tray for the cooler's retention plate. And there's plenty of rubber grommeted holes to route the cables behind that tray. And by the way, there is plenty of space behind the motherboard tray and the right side panel. Get those cables out of the case and get them back there for a number of reasons. It looks great. I mean, you've got a window with this particular model, plus it also increases airflow inside of the case. Now, as we've already established, there are 3 5¼ drive bays. You cannot remove this section right here, unfortunately. They do have a toolless design though. Now, speaking of drives, you can fit up to 3 3.5-inch drives here in this cage, and by the way, it can be removed. You can also fit 1 2.5-inch drive on this cage. Okay, so what about the power supply, video card lengths, and the cooler height? Well, you can have a cooler that is up to 167 millimeters in height, a power supply that is up to 290 millimeters in length. That's without installing a bottom fan. And by the way, you can install either a 120 or 140 millimeter fan at the bottom of the case. Now, as for a video card, you can fit a video card that is up to 290 20 millimeters in length. That's if you have the additional hard drive cage installed, which of course here it's not included. But if you don't have this, you can fit a video card that is up to 400 millimeters in length. And they include thumb screws on the expansion slots. And while I'm here, I will show you the fan lead, which is black, flat and flexible with a 3-pin connector. Now, like the front panel, you'll need to release a number of tabs on the inside to take off the top panel. And just to recap, you can fit up to two 120 or up to two 140 millimeter fans, or a 240 or 280 millimeter radiator. Now have a look behind the motherboard tray. There are a few punch outs back here so you can actually attach the cables, but as you can see, there is ample space. As well, you can install two more 2.5-inch drives on these brackets, and to remove them, just take off a single thumb screw. Then you would of course attach this to the drive and put it back. At the bottom there are 4 rubber feet, and they're tall. That's good because it will allow the bottom fans to do their job and intake cool air. Now I really like the overall styling on this. It's definitely not a copycat. The build quality is quite good. You can fit a decent amount of hardware on the inside. You've got acoustic dampening material. It comes in a non-windowed version and a windowed version, and as well you've got 3 different color options. Overall, this is a kick-ass product. Until next time, take care. Well, that's it, but I hope you enjoyed the review. And if you think this and other videos that I produce are great, please like them, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, your comments are very welcome. And if you have any questions, let me know.